Hey everybody, it's Alec here, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the full panel discussion from my event, Social Media Magic, Scale Your Business Through Storytelling, which happened on April 24th, 2024 in Newport Beach, California. So for those that don't know, I'm a coach and consultant specializing in helping other entrepreneurs, primarily coaches, consultants, and agency owners, to scale their business through local client getting events. So if you want to learn how to do your own awesome, profitable local events that help you get clients, there is a full-length YouTube video in the description below that talks about all these strategies in a lot of detail. But anyway, of course, I do plenty of my own events as well. And this was one of them that I think is one of my favorites of all time, just because I loved the people that I met that night. The panel discussion was absolutely amazing, and I overall just liked the vibe a lot of the evening. I'm so grateful that the speakers were able to come out and spend their time dropping some knowledge for the crowd, and now everyone like yourself who is watching the video online. So on the panel, I was joined by a bunch of awesome speakers. So one being Pouya Hashemi. He's one of the fastest growing Instagram comedians, has a lot of viral content. And I was also joined by Razie Mirzaei, who is the largest business influencer in all of Iran, I'm pretty sure. She has over 2.5 million followers, has an incredible following, built a great brand off of it. And then Kell, he was on the panel. So Kell is like the VSL master. He's done $40 million in a single year just through VSLs. So he's like the champion when it comes to that stuff. And of course, Matt Barnes, who is the owner of the space that we were at, Road Collective. And he also has his own creative marketing agency. And of course, I was on the panel moderating, and I was contributing to the discussion as well. So overall, it's just a great crew of people. It was an awesome crowd. We spoke all about how to grow on social media, how to build your brand, and of course, how to storytell for maximum effectiveness. So enjoy the video. Well, first of all, let's give ourselves a huge round of applause for these speakers coming out tonight. And I just really appreciate them for their flexibility. Literally, I had this event as an idea, like, I don't know, a few weeks ago, and I was like, hey, like, I think I have a few speakers that would want to be a part of this. And I literally just like messaged them on Instagram, and all of them got back to me within the next day, and they were like, yeah, let's do it. So I was like, yeah, let's make it happen. So that's what this event is all about. I wanted to bring together just people that are just doing really well on social media in their whole respective fields. And I'm gonna have them introduce each other, but yeah, it's, there's definitely several things I admire about everybody here on this panel tonight, and I'm really grateful that they are going to share their knowledge along how they've been able to build successful businesses and social media followings to really create the life that they want. So first, I'm going to have each speaker answer the following question. How do you spend your time on planet Earth?
That was not the question.
Okay, I go first.
Yes.
I'm basically telling what I do, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or what you do outside of work as well. You can answer the question anywhere, any way you want. It's the flexibility of the question, so
right.
Your choice.
My name is Pouya. I own a couple businesses. One is in technology, it's called Spin Touch. The other one is SIP Awards. It's a spirit marketing evaluation for spirit companies. And then I also do a lot of comedy on social media, stand-up, some magic, up-close magic, and I mix it around, all those things. Yeah, that's what I do.
Do magic.
He's pretty good at magic, honestly. Like, he's caught me off guard quite a few times, to say that.
Well, no, we'll do magic later.
Magic coming later.
Hi, I'm Razie. My username on Instagram is razie.ladyboss. I have an educational company back in my own country, Iran. It's a huge company. We do seminars, we do webinars. I'm an author there, and I'm a big speaker in Iran. Thank you.
Woo!
Hey, my name is Peter Kell. How do I like to spend my time on Earth? I'm really big like spirituality guy, so I'm like 100% like just what's God's plan? How do I follow God's plan? What's the most important thing for me to be doing? And stuff like that in whatever chapter of life that we're in. I think that's how you live the dopest life you could possibly live, is just by following a higher power's plan for you. So that's how I spend my time, just focusing on that. My current mission is a software company called Genius.ai. We're an AI manufacturing company for network marketing companies to help their salespeople sell their stuff better, which is really fun. My background is in video sales letters, which is what I'm mostly known for on the internet. Most people know me for doing VSLs. Yeah.
Nice.
Woo!
So I'm Matt Barnes, and at Matt from Rogue on pretty much everywhere. I have Rogue Creatives, creative agency, and Rogue Collective. Rogue Aviation's a helicopter flight school, and we're starting a VR company as well. But most of my focus is on my 5 kids that are 6 and under. They keep me very busy, but mostly I love adventure. I love seeing kind of how we can combine our resources and our talents and our abilities to do something different and unique, and which is where all of these kind of diverse things that I'm involved in come from, because it's usually, what do I have? What do you have? What can we do together that's different? And how can we do something that maybe somebody else couldn't do because they don't have that unique combination? So I'm always looking for those opportunities. Well, I'm not looking for new opportunities. There's too much right now. I gotta say no at some point. My wife told me. But yeah, that's really it. And it's really about the kind of the adventure, the storytelling, the story of life, and the adventure of the time that we have here, and what can we do with it.
All right, thank you so much. So Matt, you're kind of the video guy here, so in order to get more of this audio, because I have my microphone attached right here, can I just like throw it on the ground right there, and that will like help better? I don't know. Like,
I think so.
You think so? Okay.
I hope so.
Hopefully it works. All right, so all of these people are way too humble, which is amazing, which is why they are as successful as they are. But let me just give you guys a little bit of background, things that I've observed about these people that I'm highly impressed by. So first of all, Pouya, how many Instagram followers are you at right now? Like 400K?
Almost.
So Pouya, when he came over for my podcast, like 2 months ago, maybe even less, he was at like 200,000 followers. So he's gotten like 200,000 followers in like the last 6 to 8 weeks, whatever it might be. And he has several comedy videos that have tens of millions of views. I think you have like 5 or 6 videos that have over like 40 million views.
Yeah, and one video, 122 million.
Yeah, he's just somebody, like, you go to his profile, like, next week just to see how he's doing, and he already has, like, 15,000 more followers. So it's really impressive how he's been able to create, like, really engaging content. And then we have Razie over here, and a lot of you in the US don't know her, but she's, like, legit famous in Iran. She's, I think, the largest business influencer in all of Iran, if I'm not mistaken. She has over 2.5 million followers on Instagram. Her engagement is crazy. She can put out like any reel and get like 500 to 1 million views. Funny story. So when I put out my reel for my event, typically my reels like for my events will maybe get 5,000 or 6,000 views, which is like really good, right? But then Razie shared it on her story. And I was like, oh no, what's gonna happen? I'm excited. And then 3 hours later, it had 100,000 views. So that just shows you like the scale of her following, which is absolutely incredible. And it was just like witnessing like, yeah, there's some people that have like 1 million followers, but like how much engagement are they getting? Like that's 2.5 million followers of like highly engaged people. So, and now let's move on to Peter over here. Peter has an incredible story. And he's most notable for, VSLs. If you guys don't know what VSLs are, they're basically like a video anywhere between 15 and 30 minutes that gets people to buy something expensive. And Peter is like a legit master at that. I think you had a couple of the highest grossing VSLs ever.
Yeah, I was number 1 for a little bit.
Top 3 on YouTube.
Yeah, so on YouTube, like he's one of those guys that you would have seen every single day because his ads are working phenomenally well. So yeah, he had the most sales from YouTube, which is incredible, and that was like $40 million in a single year.
That was a different company, but yeah.
Yeah, but
He does it a lot.
this guy is probably top 5 people I know like best at making money. So really impressive. And outside of that, I don't know Matt so well yet. I want to.
I don't know what I'm doing. After I hear all that, my social media stuff.
I want to deepen my relationship with Matt because I'm sure he's an incredible guy. I know he is. All I can say about Matt is, from what I know about his creative agency, he's doing really great things, and this space is amazing. And if it weren't for him and the things that he's building, we wouldn't all be here today. So let's just give another huge round of applause for everybody. All right, so moving on, I want to know, how did you guys all get started in business? Because there's a lot. How many of you here are new entrepreneurs? Recently started your businesses? And how many of you have been in business for a while? Okay, cool. Well, anybody can gain inspiration from somebody's upbringing and somebody's story. So what I want to know is, first of all, how did you guys get started in doing what you're doing?
Business I started like 16, 17 years ago. I've always been kind of an entrepreneur. I've had a lot of failures and a lot of success. And it was just to find something that I felt like was missing in the world. Like, for example, how long do we go on this?
A minute or so, or 2, I don't know. Whatever you're feeling, man, use your intuition.
All right. So Sip Awards is one of the companies I started, which is a spirit tasting evaluation company. We basically get brands from around the world, submit their products from vodkas, tequilas, cognacs, and then we have a judging panel of all consumers evaluating blindly to determine which is a good product. When I first started, there wasn't anything like it. All the competitions, all the evaluations were done by professional judges, so I saw an opportunity to start evaluating based on consumers, which I felt was needed in the market. Nobody really agreed. Everybody thought the industry was very saturated with, the specific industry was evaluating everything on their own. The first year we did about 70 brands from around the world. This year we're probably going to be at 1,300 brands. Every year we've been gradually growing. So it's just kind of finding an opportunity that doesn't exist and just going with your gut and intuition and just starting it regardless of what people say and giving it a try.
So a very interesting part about Pouya's story is that before starting comedy, he was a very successful tech entrepreneur. Obviously, you still are. So you guys know during COVID how you would like go into buildings and like it would automatically read your temperature when you pass by something? His company developed that. At least one of the bigger companies. And I think at one point they were doing like $5 million a year or something like that. They were on the Inc. 5000 fastest growing companies. So I wonder, how do you go from that to making comedy?
Yes. Yeah, that was so COVID actually helped with that too. During COVID, both of my businesses were essentially kind of at a standstill. The Spirit one, we needed live events to do competitions, which we couldn't. And nobody was in their office to even market to. And then the technology we were selling were really specific to trade shows and innovation spaces, so those were closed up. So I literally had nothing to do. I felt like the world was gonna end. I was always hesitant on starting my comedy because I was like, well, people will think I'm silly. They're not going to take my business career seriously. My customers, what will my customers think? What will my employees always think. And then when I thought the world was going to end, I'm like, okay, this is I gotta try it now. And I tried it, and it kind of started to take off. So it was literally the world ending for me to start making people laugh.
I love it, man.
Yeah.
And then, okay, so I know I just asked you guys a question. I'm like, hey, answer this question. But I know a lot of you well enough, so I want to ask a little bit more targeted question based on your own situation. So, Razie, you're at 2.5 million followers right now. When did you start your Instagram? How long ago? Like posting videos?
Like 4 years ago.
Okay, 4 years ago.
It's been 4 years.
Yeah, so how did you get started with that?
Actually, my first posts and stories on Instagram was about business because I was in a way of being entrepreneur kind of thing. So
Hold it closer to your mouth.
okay, that's why I was into entrepreneurship, and my story and post was about how to sell or how to gain customer or kind of things. But after a while, when some people came to me and asked me, so we want help, how can you help us? I started to help them and teach them some techniques for selling and kind of things. But after a while, because all customers were women in Iran, after a while I understood that why my customers are not responding, are not doing things that I'm telling them. So I was devastated at the time. I was really disappointed. Maybe I'm not a good coach, I'm not a good consultant. So what I'm gonna do? So I did some research and I understood that Iranian women are not taught how to boost their self-confidence, how to speak, how to do things fast. So I started to post about self-confidence and assertiveness. I was not about to be a very big influencer. I didn't see it in myself actually. Okay, I just wanted to help. I just wanted to post something to help my customers to do things that I'm telling them. So the thing is, when I posted some self-confidence and assertive techniques to women, my Instagram blew up. I mean, after 6 months, I hit 2 million followers. I was 20K. So I was like, wow, I didn't expect that. I mean, I'm good, yeah, but you know, what happened? And then I realized that, so really women need to do that. So I started to be an expert in assertiveness and confidence in Iran. So I became the first female speakers to self-confidence for women.
Love it. So you found your niche, especially in Iran.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I know.
All right, Peter, I know you have a wild story. Share part of it.
I'll keep it tight. Well, I mean, I would like never even thought that becoming like successful or rich was possible. I was like a broke D-student skateboarder who worked at a skateboard shop because that's what you were supposed to do if you wanted to do what you loved. And then my car started exploding and I had to move back to my parents' basement in the middle of the woods because I knew that I'd be sleeping on floors forever if I didn't get out of that, if I didn't quit this job. So my story really starts with me just like getting stuck in my parents' basement for 2 years. They lived in this place called Lake Arrowhead, which is in the middle of nowhere, over by the Big Bear. And I had one friend that didn't do heavy drugs, and I didn't go to college. And I just started hating it a lot. Like I was this 21-year-old who just was alone, like pretty much being in jail. And I felt like this super valuable part of my life, this precious young part of my early 20s. You get your early 20s, your mid-20s, your late 20s, and then done forever. You never get it back, right? And my early 20s are just going to shit right now. And I fell into a super deep, like, sinking depression of just hating my life. But my dad was really into, he had like a small website design company. He was really addicted to like buying these how to get rich on the internet courses for $7. And I didn't go to college, so he was like, let's just send him some shit, right? He doesn't get out of his bed anymore. And he sent me stuff, and then one day he sent me this program that was like, the sales video was like really aggressive. It was like, hey man, do you feel like a loser? You live in your parents' basement. And wish you could drive Lambos, date hot Swedish bottles, be a millionaire, go live on an island in the Caribbean with your feet in the sand, making money from a laptop. I was like, yes! Hell yeah! I didn't even think about that. Are you kidding me? So, but more importantly was like all of a sudden, because I had just been praying to find something to make this sacrifice of my early 20s worth it. And I realized, man, if I would you trade your early 20s for a successful late 20s? I was like, would you make that trade? Would you sacrifice that? Like, I'm already halfway done sacrificing my early 20s. Fuck yeah, I'm already committed. Like, I'm already going down this road. But I was like, you know what? If I can pull that off, like, I would go for it. So all of a sudden, like, being alone turned into the power of having no distractions. And like, I just went batshit crazy. I'm just like reading every book I could, starting as many companies as I could. Started like 7 businesses in a row, failed them all. Just ended up having a really shitty early 20s. Like, it really did not get better. And then eventually I just gave up on the idea of starting my own business and realized that when I was 25, the only way I could ever be successful in this amount of time left would be I need to become an apprentice to a master. That was the pivot. I need to stop, realize I need to stop figuring out how to do it on my own and find a God that I can work under. And I started a mastermind group, a community kind of like this one, except more tight for my specific niche. And then through there I met this guy who was just a god of affiliate marketing and Facebook ads and spent ridiculous amounts of money on ads. And they took me into their wing, they let me sleep on their couch, and they just gave me a credit card and the keys to the kingdom. And that was it. That was the end of my rock bottom mode, and then it just was super nuclear for men. I learned really quickly that the secret to doing any high volume Facebook ads and YouTube ads and really blowing businesses up really fast is the media buying companies know everything about targeting and everything about you. All that matters is you have to make a video that inspires people to buy your shit. That was it. And you use the ads to get in front of them, and if your ads are profitable, you can go nuclear. So I spent 3 years just practicing selling other people's products as an affiliate, ended up getting really good at that, started a skincare brand called Miami MD, made like an infomercial partnering with the dermatologist in Miami. That thing exploded. We did like 40 million our first year in sales, and then that was it. I became a partner in a company called mindvalley.com, which a lot of people know about, and then those were some of the ads that became some of the biggest ads in the world, and then pivoted now into AI. But that was mostly it. It was like 7 years of just how do I make videos, but I mean, no one ever told me that like making 50 grand every 2 weeks is possible. And I'll tell you what, like that stuff is so life-changing. Like making your business move is so life-changing. It is so worth the mission. If you ever commit to it, go for it. It is so worth the trade. And we all don't have a lot of time left. If you break your decades down by early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s, gone forever. Right? That's actually how it works, you know? And like success they're different. Success in different parts of your life are totally different. So we gotta think about it, you know, deadlines, we got timelines. Anyway, that's the story.
All right.
Now I really don't know why I'm here. I'm 45, it's over.
Going forever.
Done. It's just bye. What do you want to know?
Well, although you are the oldest, you also have the most experience, and you've lived longer than everybody, and you've probably been in marketing longer. What?
So far, apparently it's coming to an end soon. So.
Well, you've definitely been in marketing longer than I think everybody on this stage. So I want to know, like, because everybody has their own path, you know? Pouya started a tech company, then became a comedian. Razie started posting on the internet. Those videos became viral. She made a business out of that. Peter has his own story. And I want to know, like, what you do out here is like really cool for the community, you know? Like it's a big responsibility to have a space like this, a co-working space, and have a creative agency. So I want to know, like, how did all of that come together? And why did you choose this path in particular?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's two things. One is, you know, I spent a lot of time working for other people. I started off in education. I taught high school, college for a while, and just because I enjoyed it, I loved it. I love sharing the knowledge that I have and helping other people in that way. And I did a master's in education, a master's in organizational leadership. I did a lot of consulting for. I loved it. I loved doing all of that. I kept working for people wanted to kind of put me in a box. I'm kind of a utility player. I can do a little bit of a lot of things, or a lot of bit of I don't know. I can do a lot of different things, but I kept running into people who would say, I don't know what to do with you because you can do this, or you can do that, you can do that, you can do that, and I'm going, how is that a bad thing? Like, and it was this sort of realization of going, no, I need to work for myself. I need to set up a situation that utilizes all of the things. And it comes down, it comes down to what I was saying before. It's looking at what are all the things that the experiences that I had, the talents, the skills, the passions, and how can I put those together in a unique way? How can I bring those together? And one of the things that I see is organizations don't know how to connect with people, how to actually, there's a lot of talk about storytelling and bringing people into your story and being able to capture people into that, but the reality, like a lot of people don't know how to do that. When I grew up in the 80s, when I grew up back then, it didn't matter as much what your branding looked like and what you didn't have a website. There was no web. You didn't, if you wanted a plumber, you just opened the white pages or the yellow pages. Unless you were a massive brand that was doing, or if you were Pepsi or Coke, it mattered. But otherwise, it just didn't matter. But now your stuff is out there where everyone can see it, and everyone's doing this. So focusing just on your product or your service isn't what it used to be. Yeah, that's obviously super important to have a great product or a great service, whatever it is you're offering. But it's also, how do you connect with people? How do you stand out from the crowd? And it was really looking at, when I was doing education, the best way to teach somebody something is through experience. We learn through experiences. We don't learn through memorizing a bunch of crap.
Yeah.
Right? And so, how do we give people that experience? Well, we bring them, the best way we can do that without individually meeting every single person is bring them into a story. But to do that effectively, what I was doing in organizational leadership was working with organizations to define really their character. Who do you want to be? Let's set up structures to support that. And making sure that that character is actually present and defined and then present in everything that goes out, so that when people see your, whatever it is you put out there, website, business card, Instagram, whatever, they get that sense of who you are. Just the same way as when you meet somebody, you don't know everything about them, but you get that sense of who they are.
Yeah.
That's what makes you stand out. Who you are is what makes you stand out. And so that's what I'm helping people do. And then specifically, we've ended up really specializing in doing that for nonprofit organizations and helping them be able to connect with donors, with volunteers, and help grow so that they can help more people. And that's been really awesome and rewarding.
I love it. Let's give a hand for Matt. I'm back at it with another interesting question, or I hope it's interesting. And that question is, it could be your story or somebody else's. What's the best story that you've ever told online? Anybody can start. I know that's a good question, but I just flat out stumped them all.
My mentor's got a pretty hilarious story. The guy I met, he worked at a Lamborghini dealership, and he was like, he didn't go to college either, and he just liked fast cars, and he was like just selling. He was a car salesman for a Lamborghini dealership, and over the years he would see these young guys come in and buy these supercars all the time. And he goes, "What do you do?" He goes, "Oh, I do internet marketing." He's like, "Oh man, I could never do internet marketing. That's like, you have to be super smart to do that. You have to like figure out how to do all these things." He's like, "I don't know what I'm doing. I don't know how to talk to them." And the more people come in over time, like, "What do you do? Internet marketing." Internet marketing. I was like, "Oh my god, like I could never do something like this." And then one day, one guy comes in that he knew, and he just knew this guy was like dumb as a box of rocks. And the guy buys a red Ferrari, and he's like, "If this guy can get this damn car, then I'm gonna get into internet marketing." And he just got into it. And I just thought that was the funniest thing ever. You know, it's like what you actually need to make things happen is really just drive. And really just commitment. And really just like belief that it's possible. You know, I mean, the eyes only see what the mind is looking for. So if you don't think stuff's possible, you'll never see the doors right? If you gotta like believe it's possible till you ever see a light that shows you the way, that makes you see it's possible. So it's just like believing that things are possible. It just changes so much.
Love it. So actually I want to talk to Matt next. So Matt, your agency focuses on storytelling, right?
Yeah.
So what's the best story that you've either told around yourself or you helped another company with? Like the most impactful, interesting thing?
I mean, well, two things. One, I'll say, when we talk about storytelling, we're really focusing on bringing people into the stories of these organizations. Just like when I meet you and we sat down in my office and you talk to me about what you're doing, and I talk to you about what I'm doing, and is there an opportunity to partner here?
Yeah.
It wasn't so much, okay, here's the story of my life, or here's a story that happened to me, but it's the story of just who you are and our stories colliding. And when stories can intersect, that's when experiences happen, that's when learning happens, right? That's when connections are made. So it's not always an exact narrative that we're trying to tell, it's helping people connect with the story of the nonprofit or whoever it is we're working with. Having said that, I would say the most powerful or most fun I've had telling stories was actually during COVID, because we had specifically our nonprofit clients who were having to figure out how to do what they do, how to help people in all new ways, because they couldn't do, I mean, like there's one specific nonprofit we were working with at the time that we've been working with for a while, and they work with the homeless population, and they do amazing work. I mean, they're really leading the way in solving the problems of homelessness. But I'm because we worked with them for a while, I was very familiar with their methods, how they went about it. And my first thought, after about 3 weeks, and we're like, maybe this is going to take a while. One of my thoughts was like, well, I wonder what's going on with them, because everything they do would be shut down at this point. Started talking with them, seeing the ways that they were pivoting, and it was just so fun to then get to highlight that and bring people into that story, because they ended up having the best 2 years that they ever had, because it caused them to get innovative, it caused them to get creative, where somebody else might have gone like, well, we just can't do it, I guess we just, we'll when this is over, we'll get back to it. They actually increased, and it became this really cool opportunity to bring people into that story. For us, it was, and me and my team, it was really looking at it and going like, we were so inspired by it, we want to share that with other people. What is it that we're connecting with in that? And what is it that, and they weren't the only ones. A lot of our clients were doing that, but this one in particular stood out. Nonprofits, they make a lot of money doing big gala events. They couldn't do that. So we got to help them strategize. How do we take that online? What does that look like? And got to create these really cool videos and this interactive experience where we, ended up, for them, spending way less money than they normally do, because they didn't have to rent a hotel and pay for meals and all that kind of stuff. We did this thing, and they ended up raising almost the same amount of money, but without all those expenses that they normally have. They don't even do the galas anymore, because they realized, wow, we don't need that. And so it's been fun being part of people's stories in that way and highlighting them and watching people being brought into that and seeing how it changes both the people who are being brought into the story, but also the organizations as they become sort of part of each other's story.
Cool.
I've said the word story a lot, and now it's starting to sound weird.
It's a storytelling panel. Ooh. No, you're right on topic, man. I appreciate the response. Razie, what about you?
Okay, I was thinking the whole time to remember one story. That's why I was like that. And I just remember one story. When I want to teach my students or followers how to be assertive, how to boost your confidence or being courageous, I just remember one story from my childhood. I'm going to share it with you. When I was like 7, I went on a bus and go with my other friends, go for swimming on summers. And when I came back at the time, to come to home, for example, I just hop off the bus right in front of the bakery. The bakery was 2 blocks further from our apartments. I smelled a bread. I was really hungry. And I know that if I go home, I see my mom have lunch and yeah, but I was too hungry and I want that bread. So I saw a woman with a bread come just right out from the bakery. So one bread was like 50 cents, for example, imagine. So it was nothing. And I asked her, do you have 50 cents? Just a strange woman. And she said, yes, what do you want? I said, I just want bread. And she said, okay. And just looked up my outfit and no, she's a student, she's not a homeless, and okay. And then she gave me the 50 cents, and I went and bought a bread. So I told that story and told my followers that right now, I'm not doing that. Anybody does not doing that because you're adults. And we don't have the courage to do that. If you want something, request something for a kindness, right? And that was a blow up. When I told that story, it went so viral, and so many people like sharing on their stories, and then my campaign was very helpful at that time when I wanted to do the seminars, and that was very beautiful.
How many views did that video get?
I don't remember, maybe 2.5?
Yeah, nice. Pretty solid reel if you ask me, you guys. Pouya.
Okay, this is actually something that happened recently. I was eating sushi with a buddy of mine, and he was like, he was curious on how much money I made on Instagram. So I'm like, you know.
Was it me?
No.
Oh, okay.
I think we had a similar conversation.
We did, yeah.
Yeah.
You can't imagine what kind of dough this guy's. Okay,
Right.
no, I'm not going to spoil it.
Yeah, don't spoil it. So, I'm like, you know, if you can guess, whoever wins has to pay for sushi. So he's very, you know, we're gambling a little bit. So he's like, you got to give me a little bit of a range. I'm like, I'll give you a $50 range up or down. He's like, come on, man, that's nothing. I'm like, you know what? $25,000 up and down. His face grew like, it was like anger and sadness and happiness at the same time, because he's like, oh, I can't believe you make that kind of money. And I gotta like work it, like, he was like picturing high numbers, like 25,000, and like he saw my reels. I mean, some of them are getting 50 million, 50 million plus. So he guessed, and he was very angry. He wasn't angry, he was very happy. He was like, I'm so happy for you. You made so much money, you know, but he's Persian, so he's like, you know, he's like, motherfucker. I work 7 days a week, and you know what I do? You make stupid videos, and you make like, his guess was $500,000 a month. Because of the 25,000, 50,000, yeah. So he's like, and then I told him the real number. You know the real number.
I know the real
for that month when I hit all the viral videos. Instagram doesn't pay much. It was $6.75. I got free sushi. But he was, I felt so much, like, he was so happy inside. He's like, okay, all right. I can, okay.
I feel better.
Yeah,
Yeah,
right?
that makes me feel better.
He was about to pitch me some big real estate opportunities. $500,000 a month, that would have been great. No, yeah.
Yeah. Well,
Wrong kind of friends. You know, people that
Seriously.
don't want you to succeed.
No, he was genuinely happy, but I could see he was just like, oh, why didn't I go into comedy? Like, he was mad at himself. Like, I'm funnier than you. Come on. At least I can make half as much. Like, come on. Yeah.
Well, that's a bit, so if you guys are wondering why Pouya can just make comedy videos all day, it's because he was successful prior, and that's how he's able to get that flexibility to create videos, right? But hey, or what? Or Sugar Mommy? Oh, okay. It is Orange County, everybody, you know? Like, who really knows at this point?
No, it's the businesses.
But I think there's really strong potential for Pouya to really monetize his following in the near future. Maria and Halika, could you get everybody a water on the stage, please? Yes. Is that what was going through all your guys' mind? I need some water?
Thank you so much.
Maybe?
Yes.
Slightly? Okay, cool. Well, what I'd like to tell you guys is the story of how this community all came about, right? So I told it briefly on stage for like a minute, but for those of you that are curious, so I moved to LA in, what was it, May of 2022. And at this time, I really needed a new beginning, right? And so I moved to LA in the beginning of May 2022, and LA wasn't my place, you guys. I mean, I don't think it's most of your guys' place either, which is why you're in Orange County, right? But, you know, I had started a series of, and at that time, I didn't like what I was doing from a career standpoint, and I just wanted to, I wanted to change things up. I started a lot of different businesses. Nothing worked out the way that I wanted to, and I found myself in Orange County, found my way to Irvine. So after everything I had went through, I at least ended up in Irvine, right? And I was like, okay, it's October of 2022. I know nobody here. Literally like 2 people. It was like a close family friend, and like that was it. And I was like, gosh, you know, there's 3 million people in Orange County. There's a lot of money here. There's a lot of industry. But I just have this sense that there needs to be more networking events. There needs to be more opportunities to connect. And other people that I was talking to kind of sort of felt the same way. Actually, I didn't ask anybody. I just thought it was a good idea, to be honest. And so I was like, you know, I'm going to put out a video ad. And I'm going to say, hey, Orange County, if you're an entrepreneur that's interested in meeting like-minded people, expanding your network, and growing your knowledge, subscribe to this email list. So how many of you found me on social media? Yeah, most of you, right? So in a lot of ways, you guys sort of resonated with my story too, because I didn't know anyone. I put out a video ad. I was getting lots of contacts, hundreds and then thousands of contacts. And then I did the first event in Irvine, and I think I sold like 127 tickets or something like that. It was like my biggest event ever. Granted, I charged the least amount I'd ever charged, so I actually made the least amount of money. But it was an amazing experience just saying, hey, a lot of other people resonate this. We kind of talk about what Matt was saying with stories colliding. A lot of people in Orange County and other places, because I run these ads in San Diego, I do them in Los Angeles. Everybody needs, and I have clients that run similar style ads in other states. And there's always this story that is very common no matter where you are, is people want to connect, especially in metropolitan areas. So the fact that you guys are all here, let's give ourselves a round of applause for all being here tonight. Yeah. You know, it means a lot, because everybody has that in common. We're all trying to grow. We're all trying to develop our businesses, and we're all trying to meet more of the right kinds of people, right? So on that note, actually a different note, I want to know, okay, when people are starting out, there's a lot of different social media channels that you can use. You know, there's so many. Which one is your favorite and why?
Platform or?
Yes, platform. Social media channel.
Channel on a platform?
App.
Okay.
Instagram?
Instagram.
Why?
Well, that's what I spend the most time on. Instagram for short content, TikTok and YouTube for longer content.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
No insightful reasons why.
It's fine.
He likes it, okay?
I think you like Instagram too, don't you, Razie?
Yes.
Just a little bit?
Yes, Instagram, because it's actually a combination of all the social medias, like Facebooks or YouTubes or TikToks. When you combine them, you see Instagram. So that's why. Do you need more?
No. Whatever you want to share, you're open to sharing.
Okay, so just one more thing.
Please.
You can do business and have fun together.
I agree.
This is very important.
Yeah.
Yeah, in the direct response world, Facebook is still, I mean, a huge king in the space. I mean, there's endless people still on Facebook. YouTube is also one of the biggest advertising platforms in the world now. Really blew up. TikTok is a really big beginner-friendly space. The whole TikTok shop craze is absolutely ridiculous, which is allowing people to just automatically ship stuff from China instantly, not need a website to start selling stuff on TikTok. It's really a crazy spree that's going on right now. And then Rumble is a big traffic source that a lot of you guys are using. So those are, but my favorite is for sure Facebook and YouTube. You could build huge companies just mastering those.
Instagram is the one I enjoy the most. I think partly it feels the most, I guess, stable in a way because it's survived. Aside from Facebook, it's survived. TikTok, I'm just still waiting for it to
The ban.
well, the ban, but like even without that, like it just feels like I don't know long. It doesn't feel long term, but I could be totally wrong about that. I thought it feels like a Snapchat kind of thing, and I'm almost surprised that it's still going, but it is. And then YouTube, I feel like it was like there, and then now it's like it's growing again in a lot of ways. So I'm not very active there, but am actually in plans right now to be more active in YouTube. I had a meeting today about that, but yeah, I think those ones. Facebook's great. The hard part is Facebook is great for community because you cannot, you can't build groups on Instagram and that type the same way you can on Facebook. So it really depends on the audience and it depends on what you're trying to accomplish there as well.
Yeah, 100%. I really like Instagram because I feel like kind of what Razie was sharing, I think a big part of personal branding is all about being you, being authentically you, sharing parts about your business, but also parts about your other life, because that's what really allows you to connect with people when they don't just know about your business, but they also know about other things happening in your life. Because what it really is a personal brand, it's like really building that know, like, and trust factor. And a lot of that comes back to relatability. So if people can relate to you in ways in your business, cool. If they can relate to other areas of your life outside of business, that's really powerful. And the fact that Instagram is such a versatile platform, you can post all of your business related stuff on your feed, and then you can show your personal life more on your story or whatever it might be. So I like Instagram a lot, and I think everybody here, but what I will say is that Instagram is short form, right? So the max length is 90 seconds, right? As far as I know, for Reels at least. YouTube is an amazing growing platform because with YouTube, if you have somebody binge watching your YouTube channel and you sell a service, they're pretty primed to become a customer because they've been watching you, they've been watching your long form content. So what I tell people is, hey, attract people through Instagram, your Reels, whatever it might be, but also put out a YouTube channel. Like, I'm starting to take YouTube really seriously now because there's so much you can share. And when, like I said, when people just watch you on YouTube, they're really primed to become a customer of yours over the long term. And follow-up question to that. What do you feel like is the most underrated thing you can do when building your personal brand online?
Maybe about a year and a half ago, when I just finished my deal I had with Mind Valley, I was able to exit the position there. I hired this guy named Wes Watson, who's basically this guy who went to jail for 10 years and blew himself up and became super ridiculously successful on the internet. And all he does is yell at people. And I hired him to scream at me. And he told me to get online and start doing a coaching package because I was just doing direct response. I built up a pretty big following, but I never really put together a program or anything to sell them. And he's like, bro, you need to like put together a coaching program and stuff like that. And I'm like, okay, what I do is I just do like these daily reels where you just post on Instagram and you just show people when you wake up and you show a morning quote in the morning and then you show something inspiring, you show something about your life, you show something you learn every day. And you do these consistent daily posts on your Instagram stories because people are constantly watching it just constantly adding value through there, and then sell them something, right? Be like, hey, listen, I used to struggle like selling my stuff, and I figured out how to do video ads, and now I'm teaching people how to do it. Buy my shit, shoot me a DM, you know, that kind of stuff. And oh my God, oh my good Lord, I hired this guy, and we made like $147,000 in 48 hours after paying him. And I was pretty hooked from that. And then that became like a 7-figure profit, just channel, just Instagram DMs, right? People underestimate Instagram DMs like insane value. And all I'm selling is like group coaching, so I just get on one call a week, and it's not crazy or hard at all. So yeah, Instagram, just having these consistent rituals that you do and finding a mentor who really does it really, really well. These guys have like 90% profit businesses because they just send you the money on Instagram, and then you coach them, and then you send them a program. So I would say Instagram stories, and knowing a strategy. I literally have my strategy on the back of my phone so that I can see it every day, right? So I can't get as hard to fuck up.
Well, read it.
Right, so it's Wes's, yeah, take a
Take a picture.
It's called Wes's $2 million blueprint, because the guy makes $2 million a month, and he lives in a humongous mansion, and he's bigger and smarter and better, and he's a genius. And so it's wake up, post a positive quote, show your morning routine, show yourself in the gym, show yourself doing something inspiring, drop some universal goal, talk about some client wins, do an ask me anything. What are you currently struggling with? You know, like the ask me anything things? Just post it. What are you struggling with right now? And you'll just get so many people and endless things that you can comment back, and then sell something, right? The quote was like, tell a story about a problem you used to have, and the moral of the story is your course solves everything, right? Tell a story where the moral of the story is your course solves the fucking problem. Like this guy used to struggle with that, and then he bought my program and he fixed it. So if you're struggling to quit struggling, shoot me a DM, right? The shoot me a DM call to action, just take that to heart. Shoot me a DM, and they will DM you, and it's super easy. Anyway, that's pro tip.
DMs and DM ads, right?
So I never really got ads to work for coaching because there's so much like background depth that someone needs to learn about you.
Yeah,
but if
totally.
someone is following you, it's just organically like that.
There's that trust built
The
already.
trust is built.
Yeah.
And they want something, and you just gotta let them know. You know?
Yeah.
Same thing. Yeah, also Black Friday stuff. Do that Black Friday too.
Yeah, you never know unless you ask, right? So don't be afraid to have a call out to your audience saying, hey, if you're looking for this, you know, a lot of people aren't making enough sales because they're not asking their audience enough, right? Don't be in the mindset of, oh, I'm being salesy. People follow you because they need help, right? So when you give people opportunities to work with you, you're solving more problems for more people, and you're making more money, and you're having more fun, all right?
Yeah, and don't get ever caught up about I'm being too salesy, right? It's not about selling people stuff. It's not about you making money. It's about you inspiring people not to live with their problems anymore, right? Because you're kind of a douchebag if they have a problem and you don't help them solve it if your product solves it.
Yeah.
Right? You're kind of not being helpful. So get over it and be like, but you have to have an equal value exchange. If you're helping somebody, they need to have skin in the game. That way they're invested. So you can't, like, never take a bad deal or never take, like, I'm going to charge you less money, because that's just an unfair value exchange energetically. It's like, I just want this exchange to be equally aligned. That's why you're going to pay me. Right? I'm going to help you, but this needs to be an equal value exchange. So it costs this. Cool. Okay, bam.
Yeah.
So never feel bad. Like you're changing your life, and you're getting awarded for it. Right? It's a double win-win. Yeah.
Love it.
Only broke people tell you selling is bad. It's like completely opposite.
True.
It's such a good thing.
I love it.
That's a bumper sticker right there. Only broke people tell you selling is bad. I like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So, I'm saying that the most underestimated thing that people are not doing on social media is just showing up and say hi on your stories. You know why? Because when people are following you on that, app or Instagram, they're not seeing you every time, okay? They're just seeing you on their stories when you post. But when you buy something in one, for example, mall just 2 blocks from your home, when you just drive, you can see that. That's why you trust every day. But when you don't see the people that you want to buy things from them on their stories, and just say hi, I'm here. you can trust me. Hey, I'm here. I'm not running away. They will trust you just to say hi every morning. This is the most understated thing that every...
Just saying hi on your stories?
Show up.
Yeah.
Okay?
What do you say? Do you just say, hey, good morning?
Yeah,
Or?
because people are perfectionists and they say, I don't have anything to say to come to stories. Okay, I'm not doing stories right now.
Yeah.
You don't have to say something, just say hi.
Huh.
Okay? Because people see you and trust you. Okay, I'm seeing this guy every day. I can trust that guy. For women.
Huh.
It's free.
Yeah. That's interesting. I've never put it so simply, right? Just show up and say hi. Because when I feel like whenever I post on my story, like, I'm not saying I have an agenda, but there's typically some kind of point or something I want to show or something to get across. But you're just saying, hey, just show up and say hi. Because the more times they see you, the more familiarity and trust that you build, right? So let's say, this is actually a very interesting concept. So let's say, hypothetically, you only post maybe 2 or 3 times a week on your story, and because you don't know what to say. You could post every single day and just say, hey, hope you guys are having a great day, blah, blah, blah. As simple as that, right?
It's simple, sorry, it's simple as that, but when you say hi, you have the confidence to say more. You know, this is one of the self-confidence techniques. But you don't have the confidence, just say hi to people.
So have a message.
Yeah, and when you get just one hi from them, you have the confidence to say more. You're really more creative to post something.
Mm-hmm.
So when you are just closed and your mind is just closed, I don't want to say something, I'm not doing anything, so I don't have anything good to say. I'm not worthy to say, just say hi. Everything will start.
So just take action, essentially. Yeah.
We are doing some techniques in that saying hi.
I love that.
Can I add something to that too? I think
Please.
even just, I remember one time and I'd never done anything like this before. I was out maybe 6:30 in the morning on a walk, doing a morning walk, and I just did, hey, on my morning walk, getting ready for today. What do you guys got going on today? And that was it. And it got more responses, and it started conversation than anything it was like, oh, that's all it takes.
Yeah.
Because I thought, I don't have anything to say. This was during COVID, and I'm like, everybody's whatever, so I'm gonna book my walk. But that was it, and it led to because of people's responses, then more that I could say back, and we could start these conversations, or it gave me things. So I think that's so true. You don't have to have some big master plan, okay, today I'm going to teach them this, and then I'm going to get this pearl of wisdom. I mean, that's great when you have that stuff, but when you asked the question, the first thing that came to mind for me was balance, right? I think that's the most underrated thing in life in general, is finding balance in everything and fighting for that middle ground, because it's so easy to be this or this. But online, I see the people that are the least successful are either all salesy and sales, and you feel it, or they're all personal and they never get around to telling you what they can offer you or what they can be about. Finding that balance, and it's not an easy thing, because you have to struggle with it. You have to kind of feel it out, and there are times where you got to lean a little more this way, times you got to lean a little more that way. And it takes that critical thinking. But I think that balance is what can bring success. When I look online, I see the people that I follow. It's them. That's the people.
Yeah. Absolutely love it.
I think adding to Razie is the most underrated. It would be just posting. A lot of, and including myself, before I wouldn't post because just like everyone, a lot of people are perfectionists. They want to find the right reel or something. But some of my videos that have done incredibly well above my wildest expectations are things that I would have probably thought they weren't even gonna rank at all. So you never know, and what's nice is, and you don't know, even if it's a different genre, like I do magic, I do stand-up, and I do comedy reels, but mixing it up, and Instagram algorithm, which everybody hates, but it does have a good point. If it does well, most of your followers are going to see it. If it doesn't do well, you don't have to worry about losing followers or showing it to people that might not like it. It'll do its job. And it's better to post it. It doesn't cost anything. It just costs your time. And you might see something that you never knew what was possible. So I always say just post. It's always good to post every other day or post. I can't see anything wrong with it. And you might hit a jackpot.
Yeah, I love it. I'm going to give you guys an unconventional answer. So the question, to rephrase again, was what is the most underrated thing you can do in building your personal brand online? Who here, show of hands, has God at the center of their lives? Show of hands. Talk about it. Talk about it on social media. Because when we're talking about building that know, like, and trust factor, everybody relates to God, a higher power. Peter, you were talking about how a higher power has been highly influential in your life. For all the successful people that I know, because I really study a lot of people, all of them have God at the center of their life. It's almost like a fact. I've met very few people who are balanced in all areas of their life that don't embody faith or a higher power in some form. And it's when you talk about faith or just a higher power in general in social media, the people that really embody that, they love that because they're like, okay, I really relate to this person because that's what I do too. And the people that don't have that yet, they know that they do need that because we all need that as entrepreneurs. We all need a higher power at the center of our lives in order to be successful. So if you can I'm not saying, hey, every reel has to put that, but in general, when you talk about that more on social media and how a higher power has been influential in your life, you connect with so many people and you build a certain level of likability and connection that you didn't know existed. I'm going to tell you guys a little story. I was at an event last night. It was actually one of my clients' events. And of course, when I go out pretty often, especially when I go to events, I get recognized by people quite a bit, right? Because let's be honest, everybody sees me on social media a lot, right? And somebody said, you know, I was watching you, Alec, I was paying attention, but when you came out and talked about how faith played a role in your life, I became a true fan. That's when I really became a fan. And I was like, yeah. I really appreciated her saying that, but it's just ultimately so true. You don't know how many new clients I've gotten recently because I make faith the center of my life, and that's something that a lot of people can relate to. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Now, final question for the panel. Well, if anybody has any notes on that.
Faith-based stuff?
Yeah.
I mean, what was the point of it? I mean, my parents held me underwater until I became Christian, right? So I spat it out, right? As a teenager, I was like, this is stupid, whatever, I don't want to do God's plan. He's going to make me some stupid church boy that's going to ruin my life. I don't want to do that the rest of my life. So I just gave up on it. But the thing was that as my businesses started failing, and here's what happened. I started reading on all the books on business because I thought I needed the skills, business, marketing, sales, psychology. And that just got me into this glass ceiling where I couldn't break past this wall. And I was like, oh, I think there's like some subconscious mind shit going on. So I started studying all the subconscious mind books, like psycho-cybernetics and like the power of your subconscious mind. But then I started figuring out how the glass wall works and your identity works. But then, like, it's almost like random bad shit would just happen to me, and like things would just fall apart on their own. Like the wheel on the bus would just fall off the bus that had nothing glass ceiling related. It was like the universe was like, nope. Right? Like something bigger was like, nope. Right? So at literally the lowest moment of my life, right, I find this book called Conversations with God, sleeping on my friend's floor with cockroaches running over me. And it's this book about how this old man, he broke his neck and lost all his money. He looks up at the sky and he's like, fuck you, God. Like, why does life have to suck so bad? Like, when is my life going to take off? And he hears this voice like, oh, do you really want to hear an answer for that? And I'm reading this book, and at the bottom, and it's just like, the whole idea is maybe you're controlling your reality a bit more than you think you are, right? Maybe like your thoughts and imagination of things you're visualizing are creating your reality, and you wanting to become successful is causing the universe to continue to make you want to become successful, which is a reality where you're not successful. Anyone who wants to be co-successful, that literally means you're not there. So if you're constantly manifesting a life where you're not there, then you're constantly never going to be there. And if you ever get close to being there, the universe will kick the can down the road so you don't get there because you keep asking the universe not to be there. Right? So the whole embodying, I am successful. I am, like, I started just saying, oh, rich guy trapped in a broke guy's body. That's like my thing I say to myself all the time. But that shit fucking worked. Better than anything that ever worked for me. Conversation with God was the last book I read before my life took off. It really was. So, and I don't give a fuck. I just, what works at the end of the day? What is actually going to make your life take off? Right? Sure, I'm all about business and marketing, the tactical stuff. But let me tell you, it's success is opportunity meets preparation. Right? You can't manifest piano skills. Right? But with manifestation, with spirituality, you can manifest an opportunity to play the piano for somebody amazing that changed your whole life in one moment. Right? That kind of spirituality stuff. So you need to do the hard tactical work to prepare for the amazing opportunities that the universe wants to send you. And just call it the universe, like whatever you want to call it, or the force, whatever. But like you can read all the greatest books, all these greatest geniuses of history, they all talk about some crazy force stuff. But that's what worked for me, and I'm convinced that this is the number one way to do it. Just by results based, right? Like just what is going to get you where you want to be faster and cooler. I would say it's spirituality, your relationship. It's, okay. It's just your connection with God at the end of the day. That's it. That's my way.
Well said. Yeah, because what are all the elements to really having a successful business? And one of my coaches taught me about the pyramid of heart, head, hands, and how. So at the bottom of this pyramid is the heart. It's the frequency that you live on. It's your nervous system. It's how you respond emotionally. And if we're not in a great emotional state, then we're not going to attract the types of things that we want and have the types of experiences, because we really attract things based on a similar frequency, right? And there's also the head, right? What are those limiting beliefs that are holding us back? What are those things that we believe to be true that aren't really true? Right? So that's like, people are all about teaching the strategy, the know-how, all of that. But before that, a really monumental part is, how do you feel on a daily basis? Are you happy? Are you enjoying life? Do you have beliefs that are serving you? Because you can have all the strategy in the world that you want. But if you don't have those other things figured out, you're not going to do the things that you want and get done what you need to get done. So anyway, I want to leave the panel with one last question, which is, let's say it's the beginning of your social media marketing journey, growing your business, all of that kind of stuff. If you were to do it, or if you were to talk to your younger self, what advice would you give?
The advice I give is just to go out there and try out a few different, if I was doing the same thing, comedy. Just to post and not be afraid. I think a lot of people that are trying to start or want to start or may have a different genre and they want to go into maybe comedy or something else, they always have this fear, some kind of fear, and I had it back before I started. And there's always this fear that prevents them to, and some know they have this fear, some just make up excuses, but it's really not, well, just like any fear, it's all in your head. Once you, just like starting a business, once you start the first steps, the smallest steps, it kind of transitions into, it's not that hard. You do one step and the next, you get an LLC, you talk to a few people, you kind of invest the time instead of it just being an idea and then later being this big regret that I could have done that. Or, Uber, that was actually my idea. And everybody has these ideas, but it's all about, as you guys are probably aware, it's about the execution. An idea is really worth nothing without execution. And you can take the smallest execution, start up an account, start posting, start doing stories, and then just constantly trying new things and seeing what will take off, and one of them will, I think.
My mantra is action creates clarity. The more things you do, the more you figure out. So as Pouya said, just take that first step. Doesn't have to be perfect, but every step is a step in the right direction towards, accomplishing your goal. So just start somewhere and you'll figure out the rest along the way. Or at least that's how I live my life.
I would say two things to myself. I would say it's okay to have anxiety. It's okay to have imposter syndrome. It's okay to have fears because none of things will go. Never. You will have it in the future too. So, and the second is sell more. Sell more because people need your help. And people really need your help. Needs you to be there and just ask them, maybe push them to be with you, to be in your course, to be in your seminars, to just buy your book because they need to be changed. People need someone.
I mean, if I ran into the younger version of myself, I would say pretty clearly, I'd be like, listen, skills get the bills, right? If you want to change the world with skills, you got to be super skilled at something. So what is the one skill set that if you master it can get you all the results you ever wanted? What is the skill set that's going to change it all for you, right? Whether you become a master product creator, or become a master at AI, or become a master at advertising, or become a master at specific things, right? My favorite Jim Rohn quote is, don't major in minor things. Most people major, they get good at stuff that just doesn't matter. I was so good at Guitar Hero. What did I get for that? I was so good at skateboarding, right? I got to sleep on floors. I got to go fast, but that's it, right? But if you're good at media buying, your whole world changes. Everything changes. If you're good at copywriting, everything can change. So the game becomes, how can I create an environment that can grow your skill set as fast as possible? How can you create a situation where your skills grow? Literally the first 4 years suddenly became, because it's pretty soon I realized media buying was the skill set I had become great at. But then it was just a game of, well, I don't have a credit card, so how do I get on the right seat on the right bus? How do I get a job as a media buyer from somebody who knows how to train me? How do I become an apprentice to a master, which is, if you read the book Mastery, that's like, we're talking about mastery here, right? You becoming a master at your craft. Becoming an apprentice is one of the fastest ways to do it, and getting in and going on a mission to get in on those situations. So, I mean, you can be working on your skill set, but you could be on the wrong bus with teammates that don't want to go as hard as you, don't want to be as great as you, right? You could be around the greatest people, but you could get a job under business development, right? And you're not doing the skill set, and that'll totally sidetrack you and distract you. It's a game of understanding what is the one skill you need to develop that can change your life for the better, and how do you get in the right seat on the right bus where you can play this game 24/7 and practice it endlessly until you finally become world class at it. And I think skills. Yeah, focus on your skills.
If I ran into my younger self, I'd say, you're right. You can do those things, so go do them. I think a lot of us, well, I'll speak for myself. I felt like I believed in myself. I thought I knew what I was capable of. I didn't feel like other people did. And so that held me back for a long time. And it was it was until years later realizing, yeah, I could have been doing this the whole time. I could have been doing this from day one. And I would have mastered those skills by, you know what I mean? Like I would have been so much further ahead. And so, like, I can't go back and talk to myself, but that is when I'm with my kids, that's the message what do you need to learn? How can we do that? What do we need to investigate? What do we need to figure out? I mean, like I said, my kids are young, but even at 6, I mean, they're asking these questions and they're talking about the things, and well, let's try it, let's figure it out. And but a lot of us didn't have that kind of environment growing up, and so I think it would be that. It'd be, getting myself started, because I knew deep down I could do that. Mm-hmm. But you gotta believe it.
Yeah, I love it. For me, The biggest thing has been changing my beliefs. What I think is possible, what I believe that I'm capable of. Because, when I just started my business, I didn't have super big goals, I had some aspirations, but I just didn't think as effectively about things. I wasn't thinking about things in the right way. And I wasn't saying I was thinking about things in the wrong way, but if I would have had the beliefs now that I had back then, of course we would all be in very similar situations, We learn a lot, and I feel like even if you don't have a lot of experience, if you have a really empowering beliefs and really strong beliefs around what kind of business you can create, what type of business model you can achieve, what you believe about yourself, you can succeed a lot faster than a lot of other people. Because you think about people that, for example, Peter, who has succeeded greatly at a young age, versus people where it takes decades. So I think everybody here has succeeded to an extent in their own fields really well. Pouya in comedy and even his own business, Razie growing her business, Matt, all you guys are really successful business owners. And the reason that you've been able to do that, where 98% of people can't get to the level that you guys have gotten, is because you have really empowering beliefs about yourself and what you're able to accomplish. So what I'll add to that is what can really help you have stronger beliefs is, one, of course, reading books, all of that, but at the same time, finding a coach or a mentor. Somebody that has the life that you believe that you want, and having them support you along your journey, whether that's pro bono, it's free, or you pay them, whatever it might be. But the coaches that I have hired to help me get to where I want to be, without them I would be in a very different position right now. I'm not even sure I've been an entrepreneur still, So it's really about surrounding yourself with people that have the life that you want. You embody different areas about that, and you invite them to be, part of your life, right? So that would be my advice. But that pretty much wraps up this panel. Let's give another round of applause. No, I really appreciate everybody coming out tonight. And on this note, I actually, I'd like to share something with you real quick. And really, I do value the panelists for all the incredible insights that they've shared on stage, and just how you can get to where you want to be through having the right social media strategy, storytelling ability, and all of that. And I want to share something that sort of relates to my own personal narrative and my own upbringing in Orange County, which we recently spoke about. I want to give another show of hands. How many of you found me through a Facebook, Instagram, or TikTok ad? Can I get a show of hands? Yeah, most of you in the room. And social media is a really large part of what I do, and as I mentioned, I started doing events in Orange County in January of 2023, and since then I've expanded my events to San Diego, Los Angeles, and the list goes on. And it's been an absolutely incredible return on investment based on the amount of connections that I've made, the revenue that has come from the business, and overall just what it's been able to do to build my personal brand. And I used to sell all kinds of marketing services. I was really a jack of all trades. But after doing so many of these events and getting such a great return on them, I thought to myself, hey, this system that I've created through doing local events, it could be really valuable to a lot of other business owners that want to build communities to essentially build their business. People outside of Orange County saw what I was doing, and they were like, I really want your help building a community like what you have where I live. And also a lot of people in Orange County took note, and they say, yeah, this community building stuff is really powerful. I want your help creating a community out here, but based around my own personal niche and market, the types of people I'm specifically trying to go after, so that they too can grow their personal brand to grow their relationships and ultimately their client base. So could I get a show of hands? How many of you in here are established business owners that sell a service? Show of hands. You've been doing this for a while. You have a client base. Awesome. Now, can I get another show of hands of how many of you in here are trying to grow and scale your business in 2024? You inspire to grow. Awesome. Should be most of you, right? And I just want to say, if you really want to make that happen, a super interesting and effective strategy is doing your own local events just like this. because events really allow you to build a targeted list and a community of people that, one, resonate with the values of who you are as a person, and also the values of your business. And it will allow you to position yourself as the authority and expert in your niche in Southern California and even beyond. Because creating your own local community like this really allows you to build your personal brand in an expedited amount of time, like it's done for me, so that you can make a lot of excellent connections and also just predictably grow your client bases in ways that you wouldn't have expected. This is pictures from all my past events. It's been a wild journey. So for me personally, the return has been about 10 to 1. So for every $1,000 that I spend on ads, I make about $10,000 back in revenue for my business. So if you wonder why you guys see my ads all the time, well, it's because they work. And it's also just been amazing to bring people together month after month. And it's something that I really enjoy. And the same community building strategies that I've used, I've been helping so many other business owners with since. Let me give you a few examples. So we have Charlie over here. So for him personally, I'm helping him build a community of investors in Southern California, since investors are who he finds the most value in meeting based on the projects that he's raising money for. And since working together, he's raised, through doing investor events, he's basically raised his entire funding round. So it's worked really well. See, they're all running similar ads as the ones that got you guys here, but for their own respective industries. And then we have Brian over here. Brian's a very successful e-commerce brand owner, and recently he launched his own coaching teaching other people how to grow and scale their own e-commerce brands. So we're working together to make him the expert in e-commerce in Southern California through local events so that he too can get high quality coaching clients. We actually had his launch party a couple of weeks ago. It was an amazing crowd. Ryan was at that event. It was pretty sweet, right? And he was able to get a lot of new clients from it for his high ticket coaching. And then we have Kayla over here. So Kayla is the owner of a co-working space based out of Dallas, and she also sells a lot of coaching and consulting. And she said, you know, Alec, I really like what you're doing in Orange County. Can we do what you're doing there over here in Dallas? And since working together, she's sold hundreds of tickets to her events and has gotten a lot of high value clients from it, and personally said that working together to build out her own community was the best investment she had made in marketing all year. So this local community building strategy that got most of you here tonight is really effective. And if you're an established business owner that's interested in doing it for yourself in your own niche and market to grow your client base, then I have something for you. And nobody is getting this offer except you guys here tonight. So what that is I like to offer you guys a one-on-one strategy session with me that's an hour long, where we break down exactly how we can integrate local events into your business model to help you predictably grow your client base. We can talk about the event ads, the funnel, the positioning, anything that you guys need to do to start building your own profitable local community that grows your personal brand and gets you to where you want to be. Step-by-step guidance that's catered specifically to you, your objectives, and your goals. And instead of it being $500, which is the normal price for the strategy session, tonight it's only $99. And if you don't absolutely love the call, I'll give you your money back. So you literally have nothing to lose. However, there's only 7 spots available, and the offer does expire tonight. So if you want to take me up on the strategy session, all you got to do is take out your phone, go to my Instagram at Alec Mountain, and just DM me the word session. And then shortly after I get off stage here, I'll give you guys a link to where you can get the strategy session for $99, $400 off. However, like I mentioned, the offer does expire tonight, and I'm only accepting 7 people. So if that's something that you're interested in, you're gonna wanna act on this as soon as possible. So I'll give you guys a moment to do that for those that are interested. All right, well that concludes this panel. Let's give another huge round of applause for the panelists. Yeah, I really enjoy doing these events, you guys. Most of my events in the past have been just like networking, but I really like bringing everybody together and learning a lot. Did you guys get a lot of value from the panel? Yeah. No, these speakers were really awesome. I just want to say I'm really grateful for you guys' time to come out to this panel and talk to everybody, and because there's not a lot of events like this in Orange County. You know, so if we can do more of these, that's awesome. So thank you guys again for being here. So what we're going to do is we're just going to continue to networking for about another half hour or so before the event concludes. Thank you. Yes. All right. And in the center. Yes. Perfect.
Thank you.
Boom.
Good. Nice job.
Dude, great stuff. I appreciate you.
Crushed it. Yeah, thanks for having us up.
Yeah. All right, let's get the music playing.